Greetings, Monsterites! Today we're going to do a rather quick unboxing of Nemesis Lockdown and Nemesis Lockdown stretch goals here, and we'll be focusing on all the Monstrous content in here. Don't worry, this isn't just some typical unboxing. This is specific to the Monsterites out there, all the Monstrous stuff. This box is so packed it can't even close. As you can see, the edge right there. Here's the back of it to give you an idea. What you're going to be getting is a lot of aliens. The game is by Awakened Realms. There! Monster in the rulebook. Basically, this game is a futuristic space station or some situation like that among aliens. The interesting thing you can see here in the rules are the larva, creeper, adult, breeder, and queen. And the goodies are right here, so I'll have that displayed for you much better as I'm trying to improve on the quality of these sorts of videos. And then we have the big boys and gals down here. So I would like to preface that the miniatures of Nemesis and Nemesis stretch goals, the expansion as well, are not bad quality at all. The art design behind the aliens is well done, but they just lack that sort of intricate creativity. Maybe you'll see what I mean. Now, before we get to the aliens themselves, we'll go over the playable characters that are included in the core box. So here we have the Survivor. This is going to be your most experienced character that you can play. A little bit of a mask over there. And next we have the Janitor. One thing I do appreciate with all these bases is that they are sculpted. All the character ones have this really intricate, tiny but well-textured, kind of graded bottom here. And after the Janitor, we have the Lab Rat. When you read the prologue, the story of Nemesis, just that little beginning there to the game, this is the character, the main character that it's all about. So if you really want to keep it in theme, this is the Lab Rat that you will play as. And then here we have the Sentry. Cool night vision looking goggles there. And looks like at least one weapon that you'll get with them. Then we have the Hacker. I appreciate little details such as this little hole area here with this cord going down and all this being open and separated, probably a separate piece. And the last one, the Xenobiologist. Definitely one of my favorites of these. Just looking at that third mechanical arm that she has attached to her back there, I think that's a pretty cool design and in-game usage that you're going to have with her. Now, out of our crawlies, the first one of the Night Stalkers. So the aliens in Nemesis Lockdown are known as Night Stalkers, and this is the larva. This is the smallest, youngest stage of the alien. Here's another sculpt, just so you don't get bored of one rendition of the larva. You can see tiny little eyes over there and such. Some veinage going on back there. If you haven't done any research on Nemesis, then you should know that it's very akin to the Alien movies, inspired by a similar type of gameplay as well. These are somewhat like the Xenomorphs, but probably the original first Nemesis game has the aliens that are more like the Xenomorphs. These are a little different. This is the second life cycle stage. This is the Creeper. Nothing too striking as far as the face goes. You can see two eyes and teeth. Details are decent. And another more winged version of the Creeper. Again, even in these, you can see the very xenomorphic inspiration. Next in their life cycle, you find the adults. This one is the most crouched down version. It's definitely a lot of texturing that you can dry brush. There are mold lines here and there that are pretty clear that you would have to clean up if you care for things like that. Here's another version. The adults are probably going to be the most common alien life stage that you do encounter, so therefore they actually have the most different sculpts here. There's a little bit of a better look at the portrait, and here is the third sculpt of the adult. There's the size comparison with the character. This is the fourth sculpt of the adult. A lot of little details there on the back. Great texturing again. Nice for easy dry brushing. And finally, the fourth entry in the life cycle. This is the breeder. The game comes with only 2 of them. The unfortunate thing with this bad boy is the seam or the mold line comes right down the middle of its face. So you would definitely have to clean that up if you want to really do a nice paint job on these guys. You can see the eye there on the side, the mouth. They look like great little kaiju designs. Next, we have the one and only queen. There's only one in the box. She is unique. So what I would like to say about this miniature is it's a great concept. It looks fun. It's got the egg and biological matter down at the bottom there. I would like to point out how big the details are on it. It looks like maybe she was a smaller model and then she was upsized, so all of the details were upsized. If you want to see what I mean, you can compare the level of detail or the intricateness of the detail on her as opposed to this larvae over here. So you can see how small these details are. I would like to have seen this level of detail on a larger model like this. That would really show us the quality and that she really is as large as she is. It would create that illusion more strongly, I think. Other than that, she looks great. It's a beefy piece of plastic and a lot of texturing. Very easy to paint up and dry brush. The concept, not totally original. Again, not that striking, but it definitely works. So this is the biggest monster, the biggest miniature in the core game. And that's that of Nemesis Lockdown. Let's take a look at Nemesis Lockdown stretch goals. Here's the back of it. As you can tell, there's going to be some interesting alien strategic situation here. Let's dig in, shall we? Well, this is kind of cool. This is Untold Stories Nemesis Lockdown number 3. So this is rather thick. I figured it's not going to be part of the rules or anything. Oh, it's the missions. In addition to that, it's a nice little illustrated comic. That is really cool. I haven't seen that in any of the board games yet. And it seems like this is only in the sort of expansion. So that is really awesome. That I'm excited about. Although, who knows when I'll get to it. And of course, plastic goodies. Let's head over and check these out. We have a main gate here. I know it's nothing exciting, but instead of using a tile from the original core box, now you have this cool miniature that you can use. After that, we have a regular door, and I know it's not that exciting, but you know what? It is. Because for the first time ever, I've seen destructible door miniatures, and I think that is awesome. So every single door is disconnected here, so you can separate them to show that it has been destroyed. Well, having to do a separate mold or an additional spot in the mold for every piece here of the door is a lot more money and effort, and I think going through that to make these original components is pretty awesome. I think they look great. And where did that main gate lead to? Well, the outskirts of Mars. And in the core box, you have a punch-out token that you can use as the Rover, but with the Kickstarter stretch goals, you get an actual miniature of the Rover. That's pretty awesome. This is something you can use to help end the game, escaping onto a bunker. Anyway, that is a cool little miniature, and me not having a lot of stuff like this makes it sort of a piece here that I could imagine would be quite fun to paint. Now, this character here is something that I don't encounter often, as I usually play solo, and this is the first player token icon. In the core box alone, you get a token, a punch out that you get, a cardboard token, but with the stretch stretch goals, you get the character in actual miniature format, and you can see its inspiration as it's got a little bit of that raccoony look to it. Definitely a fun character. I think it would be great to paint up and just display somewhere. And right before we get to the second alien race here, we have some fun little colorful components, which are actual markers, but they are also essentially miniatures. So these are mycelium markers. So you got your fungi here. If you have myceliums, of course, you need to have spores. So here are your spore markers. So that second alien race in this box are the chytrids. And this is a purple chytrid germinator. There's 5 of these. And here is a green chytrid germinator. Really curious what the difference is going to be between the green and the purple. Then we have our first more complete biological form here, and it is the chytrid stinkhorn. These aliens sort of are not as mobile as the other ones. These ones look more like a plant or fungal type of life form that spreads out and infects the facility. There's mold lines that go along these spiky bits here, so that's usually a pretty common thing with miniatures. Easy to clean those up with an exact tool or a sharp blade or something like that. Here's another take on the chytrid stinkhorn. They're both quite tentacly, but this one has the more tentacled sort of face or muzzle. Different kind of striation texturing on the back there, so it's composed of all sorts of kind of textures. Again, sculpted base. I'd expect nothing less at this point. And then we have 3 of these, which are chytrid death caps. So you're seeing a lot more of that mushroomy nature. What I really like about this miniature, and being one of my favorite amongst these thus far in this stretch goal box, is just the amount of concepting here. You have, I think that's a mechanical structure right there, but then you have all these different mushrooms and growths, and you can definitely paint it all a singular color or do every structure here a different color and make them very colorful or very ultraviolet or blacklight friendly. That would be really cool to see with this miniature. And especially seeing it enter in that form into the game. And finally, last but not least, we have the chytrid queen, the largest, beefiest, and probably deadliest mini or monster or portion of monster or stage of monster in the Nemesis stretch goals and expansion pack. What color would you paint them up as? Would you go with green? Would you go with specific colors that you would find in the pages of the game? Or would you go with your own special colors? The great thing with monsters that are these sort of growths is that you can be as creative as you want with the colors and it will work. A lot of cool details here again, a lot of smooth organic texturing and then a bubbly, smaller, more mushroomy kind of texturing and a nice mix of all of it, making this look like a different sort of life form, like a queen of nature or the funguses, or maybe a cross between the plant life and fungal life. I don't know where the face would be. I presume that being what it is, it's everywhere, being able to perceive in most directions equally. A little detailed area down here and all that stuff, and then the graded base at the bottom. And here's comparing this queen with the Survivor miniature and the queen from the core box. I hope you enjoyed looking at the monstrous side of Nemesis Lockdown, stretch goals, and Nemesis Lockdown. I don't have Nemesis, the original board game. I did hear this one's better, so I'm excited to play it. I know this is not the main content on this channel, so I'm trying to do it brief, to the point, and in better quality. Do let me know how you feel about these. To those of you that enjoy these, let me know so I know what to continue doing, and those of you that don't, well, you're probably not watching anyway. Communicate with me. Let's become a community. Once again, we do have our Discord and all that. I will see you in the next monster review video, most likely.